Welcome to our news channel. Today we're diving into the major lawsuits against two of the most controversial figures in recent history, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, you might be thinking, those two names don't exactly scream respect for the law, do they? And you'd be right. They're like the human embodiment of that live, laugh, love sign, but instead of live, it's sue. And instead of laugh, it's counter sue. And instead of love, it's a picture of Rudy Giuliani holding a press conference in a landscaping supply store parking lot. From political battles to corporate controversies, we'll break down the key legal challenges they're facing. Because, let's be honest, watching these two navigate the legal system is like watching a couple of toddlers try to parallel park a monster truck, chaotic, loud, and with a high probability of ending in tears. And by tears, I mostly mean ours, because the sheer volume of lawsuits these two are involved in could make even the most patient legal scholar weep into their Black's Law dictionary. So let's kick things off with our favorite reality TV host turned politician turned potential felon, Donald J. Trump. Remember when Trump, a man who once declared he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose voters, decided he didn't like the look of the government ethics watchdog? Well, buckle up, because it's about to get constitutionally dubious in here. See, during his reign of misspelled tweets and questionable executive orders, Trump got into a little tiff with the then head of the Office of Government Ethics, Walter Schaub. Schaub, bless his principled little heart, had the audacity to suggest that maybe, just maybe, Trump's refusal to divest from his businesses while in office wasn't exactly kosher. Naturally, this didn't sit well with the notoriously thin-skinned Trump. The Trump administration then tried to argue that the president should have the power to fire the ethics watchdog whenever he wants, because who needs pesky things like accountability and oversight when you're trying to run a country like a poorly managed casino, right? Thankfully, the Supreme Court wasn't buying it. Now let's move on to a topic near and dear to Trump's heart: taxes, or more specifically, allegedly not paying them. You see, for years, Trump has cultivated this image of himself as a self-made billionaire, a financial wizard who can spin straw into gold, or at least convince a bank to loan him millions of dollars for a golf course that consistently loses money. But behind the carefully crafted facade of wealth and success, there lurks a darker truth, like a forgotten hamburger left to fester in the back of the White House fridge. The New York Times dropped a bombshell report alleging that Trump had engaged in some seriously shady tax practices, including claiming massive business losses to avoid paying federal income taxes for years. The case is ongoing, and Trump, as he is wont to do, has denied any wrongdoing, calling the allegations fake news and a witch hunt. But the legal walls seem to be closing in on the former Apprentice host, and the possibility of criminal charges looms large. Elon Musk. Tweet first, ask questions never. Now let's shift gears from one billionaire with a penchant for legal trouble to another. Elon Musk, the man who wants to send us all to Mars, presumably so he can finally escape the consequences of his own tweets. Because let's be honest, when it comes to social media, Musk is like a toddler with a megaphone, loud, unpredictable, and prone to saying the first thing that pops into his head, no matter how ill-advised or potentially illegal it may be. Back in 2018, Musk got into some hot water with the Securities and Exchange Commission over a series of tweets about taking Tesla private. You see, Musk, in all his infinite wisdom, decided to announce to the world that he was considering taking Tesla private at $420 a share, a price that just so happened to be a not-so-subtle reference to a certain type of recreational activity. The problem? He hadn't actually secured the funding to do so, and his tweets sent Tesla's stock price on a wild roller coaster ride, leaving investors both confused and angry. The SEC, not amused by Musk's antics, slapped him with a $20 million fine and forced him to step down as Tesla's chairman for 3 years. They also imposed a rule requiring Musk to have his tweets pre-approved by a lawyer, because apparently, a multi-billion-dollar fine wasn't enough to teach him some common sense. Elon's cave diver debacle, a case study in how not to win friends and influence people. As if getting into a Twitter war with the SEC wasn't enough, Musk also found himself on the receiving end of a defamation lawsuit, proving that even billionaires aren't immune to the consequences of their own words. Remember that Thai cave rescue back in 2018, where a group of young boys and their soccer coach got trapped in a flooded cave system? It was a harrowing ordeal that captured the world's attention, and thankfully, everyone involved was rescued safely. But amidst the relief and celebration, Musk, never one to let a good crisis go to waste, decided to insert himself into the narrative, offering up a mini-submarine he claimed could be used to rescue the boys. When a British diver involved in the rescue effort criticized Musk's offer as a PR stunt, Musk, in a fit of pique, lashed out on Twitter, calling the diver a pedo guy. Unsurprisingly, the diver, who had risked his life to save the trapped boys, didn't take kindly to being falsely accused of pedophilia by a billionaire with a Twitter addiction. He sued Musk for defamation, and after a highly publicized trial, a jury found in favor of the diver, concluding that Musk's tweets were false and defamatory. Musk, being Musk, appealed the verdict, but the appeal was ultimately dismissed. Stop the steal from the justice system. And finally, we come full circle back to Donald Trump, because no discussion of legal battles would be complete without mentioning the elephant in the room, or rather, the elephant that tried to overturn the results of a Democratic election. You see, after losing the 2020 presidential election to Joe Biden, Trump, unable to accept defeat with even a modicum of grace, embarked on a campaign to overturn the results, spreading baseless claims of widespread voter fraud and pressuring state officials to change the vote counts. Trump's efforts culminated in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, a dark day for American democracy that saw a mob of Trump supporters storm the Capitol building in an attempt to prevent the certification of Biden's victory. The events of January 6th sent shockwaves through the nation and beyond, and led to Trump's second impeachment, this time for incitement of insurrection. While Trump was ultimately acquitted by the Senate, the legal ramifications of his actions are far from over. He is currently facing numerous investigations, including a criminal investigation in Georgia related to his attempts to overturn the election results in that state. The lawsuit tango continues. That's all for today's video. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on these high-profile cases. Because let's face it, when it comes to Trump and Musk, the legal drama never seems to end. They're like the Energizer Bunny of lawsuits, just going and going, leaving a trail of legal fees and bewildered onlookers in their wake. Let us know in the comments section what you think about these lawsuits and their potential impact. Do you think justice will ultimately be served? Or do you think these two Teflon Dons will manage to weasel their way out of trouble yet again? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride.